Hello and welcome to the Professional Business Connections. I'm Laura Viskovich and I'm so excited to introduce you today to Carl Wilson. Now Carl has grown an amazing business called Extermiman, and we're going to talk to Carl today about how he has grown his amazing business through different mediums. Hello Carl, welcome to the show.
Thanks Laura, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. Now Carl, we're going to talk to you about your business growth, but firstly I'd like you to have a bit of a chat about your background, how you got to be Extermiman.
Yeah, sure, you bet. Years ago, I'm 45, years ago, in my early 20s, I actually got into IT, information systems and technology. And then in the early 2000s, after the NASDAQ stock exchange crashed, I was forced to look at some options, and I went into business with family in 2002. And Extermiman is a pest control and wildlife management business. So I went into pest control in 2002 with a family member, and then we were in business together from 02 to 06. In 06 we split, and I've been doing my own thing since then.
Fantastic. So walk us through typically how do you get customers through the door the first time?
So there's 5 areas that I focus on. I do online search. I do. We get lead generation from customer referrals if we do a good job. And then professional networking organizations, BNI being the primary one that I'm involved with. And then I work with competitors, and then I do some social media stuff. So those are the 5 areas that we look for new lead customer acquisition.
Fantastic. So I'm going to hone in on BNI today.
Sure.
And so how do you use BNI to get, I'm guessing, referrals into your business?
I do, yes. So I've been a member of BNI for about 3.5 years. I knew about the organization actually for well over 10 years before I joined. I had a friend invite me one day, and I decided I'd check it out. And in business, I tend to experiment with something, give it a try. If it works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, move on to something else. And after the first year I did it, I realized a nice return on my investment, and so it was worth it, and I decided to keep going with it. The first year that I was involved, I wouldn't say I was a very engaged member. I just kind of went and showed up, but after about 9 months into it, I realized I needed to get a lot more deeply involved with it. And so since that time, so it's been a good, 3 years or so, it's been a very good, very enjoyable experience. I've made a lot of great friends, received a lot of new customers, new business from it, and I made some wonderful vendor relationships too. The thing I like about it is that everybody that comes into the organization is vetted on some level, so there's legitimacy to the people, the professionals that come into the organization.
Fantastic. So you said it was about 9 months into being in BNI that something changed for you.
Yeah.
Now, what was it exactly? Was there additional training that you were able to get access to? What was it that changed your journey?
Yeah, kind of the turning point for me, we're encouraged to attend what's called member success programs. Jargon, people call it MSP, but member success program within this first 60 days. And what it is it's a training course that helps you to learn how to navigate BNI to be successful in it. I didn't attend that until 9 months into it. My chapter kept saying, you need to go to this, you need to go to this. So I finally did, and then we had a course that was offered on site at our chapter meeting, and it happened to be taught by Kameron Thorne. And as he was teaching it, just kind of a light bulb went on. I was getting business from it, but I realized in order to be a good member, an involved member, there were more things that I needed to do. And so that was the turning point for me.
Fantastic. So do you feel that maybe it was more about giving to your group than maybe previously? Like what exactly was it that...
So as I came to learn over time, BNI has a number of what they call core values. The primary one that they're known for is giver's gain. It's this philosophy that if I give to you, if I help you, then the principle of reciprocity kicks in, and that you're inclined to help me get to what I'm looking for. And so I began to realize, hey, I need to get more involved and try to help other members of my chapter by giving to them referrals primarily, and help them get to what they're looking for. And so as I did that, as I tried to take more of an interest in what they were trying to do and to help them, and then I find that those referrals tend to start to increase because people want to help you back.
So basically, what I'm hearing is it's all about building relationships and giving to your chapter. Now, what's the percentage like of referrals that you get from the group?
The 5 areas I mentioned: customer lead acquisition. BNI probably accounts for about 10 to 15% of new business, like referrals that come in, people that we're able to at least engage in providing an estimate to them. So it's worthwhile. It's a decent amount.
Fantastic. So the time you put in is definitely worthwhile.
Yes.
Amazing. So anyone out there who's looking at BNI and maybe wanting to visit a chapter, what would you say to them? What do visitors bring to your chapter, basically?
I would say what's in it for a visitor, if they've never really been involved in what we call professional networking, it's different. You know, an outside sales rep, they call on a business, what we all know as a cold call, and it's just that, it's cold. It's like you don't have any connection, you have no relationship, you really have nothing going on. I mean, maybe you're lucky if you can draw some sort of connection between their business and yourself, or someone in their business or whatever, so you're grasping for straws to try to make some sort of connection. With networking, what's nice is that over time, as you get to know each other, naturally things come up in all of our lives where we need services of other people that are in the group. And as those pop up, it's really nice to say, hey, I know someone that does social media, I know someone that's a plumber, I know someone that's an electrician, and then you trust these people. You learn about their reputation, and it's easy to make the referrals.
Fantastic. So in essence, I guess a BNI is like looking at a whole room of your own personal marketing agents. Would that be correct in saying that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Great. So if anyone's out there looking at yourself and going, oh my gosh, you know, these different forms of referral sort of avenues would be amazing. What would your tip and trick be to them? Maybe if they're thinking about joining a BNI, what would your tips be?
Yeah, so what's interesting about BNI, there's so many people involved in the organization. I think there's 40 or 50 chapters in what we call the northern part of Utah, the North region. And my recommendation would be to visit a few different chapters in someone's geographic area. The personalities of the people in the chapter, they tend to be a little bit different, and so you find what clicks for you.
Now, one little thing that I'm dying to know is, do you have any kind of amazing referral stories? Like someone has referred something to you and it's just kind of exploded things for you?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I had one situation. The chapter I'm currently in is located in Bountiful, and what I call a dream referral. Sometimes in all of our industries, there's a particular type of client, whether it's a large client or particular niche or industry is really good for us. So one dream referral, if you will, for me, are property management companies. I happen to come into the chapter that I'm in, and there's a residential property management company. And it took me a few months to get to know them. They were already using a few different vendors. However, because they belong to BNI, they're encouraged to try to use people within the organization. And as I built a relationship with this sales rep for this property management company, I was able to pick them up as a new client. And so we've, over the last year, serviced a number of properties for them. So I was able to pick up a golden referral for myself.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
With nothing more than just attending the chapter, building relationships, and I mean, we strive to be a company with a strong reputation for service and taking care of clients. That's what I really try to focus on in my business, is a strong reputation that we're responsive, we get results, And so I think that if you're a committed professional and your peers see that, they're going to be inclined to refer people to you.
So Carl, you're a part of BNI Utah North. So which chapter are you in?
Yeah, there are 2 chapters in Bountiful. I'm in one of the Bountiful chapters. The name of the chapter is the Above the Line chapter. And yeah, it's a fantastic chapter. Love the people in my group.
Great. So how do you educate on people in your group exactly what you do?
Yeah, the sweet thing about BNI is every week we get to give what's called a commercial. That may vary 30, 45, 60 seconds depending on the size of a chapter. So we get to give a brief commercial on what we do, how to educate the members of our chapter to help sell for us. So I'm not really trying to sell to them like, hey, I do pest control, buy from me or whatever. What I'm really trying to do is empower them how to refer me to their network, their friends. So what I'll basically say something like, hey, I'm Carl Wilson with Extermiman Pest Control. I do spider, insect, and rodent control. If you go to your friends, your families, your customers, acquaintances, and you go to their homes or their place of business and you see spider webs or you see bugs, these kind of things, then just say, hey, I know a guy. Can he give you a call, or would you like his number? So I try to just make it really simple that if they see a problem, then they can tell those friends and acquaintances, I know a guy. Would you like, can he call you?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I've had a little bit of fun, not gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's Carl Wilson, everyone, from Extermiman, and I'm Laura Viskovich from Professional Business Connections.